much. Thanks so much. Yeah. Look, so actually, I was going to bring my son to do this speech, but, well, so, and he said he didn't want to talk about body language, he only wanted to talk about Minecraft. So I came instead, and we will be talking about body language and how you can use your body language on purpose, how you can use your non-verbal communication in order to stand out, to win trust, to gain credibility. So look, here's what we need to understand already, is that you've already decided whether you like me or not, yeah? You've already judged me. You've already decided how this next 15 minutes is going to be for you. You've decided how good my content is, what kind of person I am, whether I'm going to be profit for you, whether I'm going to be a risk, and you've done that based on my behavior. You've already made up your mind about me based on my behavior. Would that feel true to you? And you've done that in a part of your brain which in evolutionary terms we'd say is 500 million years old, goes back pre-reptilian, and it's the part of your brain that saves your life on a daily basis. Some people call it the brain stem or the R complex or the reptilian brain. That part of your brain judges everybody around you immediately, makes a gut judgment about everybody. It has an instinct. It decides whether you should approach or avoid people. In fact, there are 4 different categories that we put other people into based on their initial behavior with us. So, great introduction, but on I come, I start behaving for you. You start to see my image, you hear the tone of my voice, the kind of music that my voice plays with you, and your brainstem decides, is Mark a friend to me? Does he look like that if I interact with him, that I'll get more than I went in with? I'll benefit from him. And if you see me as benefit from my behavior around you, a little message is sent from that brain stem to a newer part of the brain, we call the neocortex, saying, go and get me all the data that proves Mark is friend, that proves Mark is benefit. And so if I've shown up for you right now because of the behavior that I'm using with you as friend, you're now just cherry picking from all the information I'm just giving you. You're just picking all the good stuff that you're hearing. If you hear any bad stuff, you'll be distorting and deleting that. If you have no idea what's going on right now, you'll just be making up a story about how good I am, yeah? How useful I might be for you. Now, alternatively, I come on, I start behaving in front of you, and regardless of the introduction that's been given, because of my behavior, you decide that I'm a threat to you. Yeah, I'm a predator. Yeah, I'm risk for you. And so now a message is sent from your brainstem to your neocortex saying, go and get me all the data that proves Mark is a threat. Not all the data that disproves it as well and any data in between. You're now cognitively biased to me being bad for you. And so if I've hit that category for you, you're just cherry picking all the bad stuff that I'm saying. If you can't find anything bad, then you're distorting and deleting the good stuff. If you have no idea what's going on right now, you're coming back with a story, a narrative that I'm risk for you. Now let me just check this first of all to see how this is going for you. Understand there's a voice in your head that keeps commenting on me. Yeah, you've got a little voice in your head that keeps talking about me, talking about the me that you see in front of you, and my content. What I want you to notice is, what's the tone of voice in your head about me? Is it optimistic or pessimistic? Does it feel like I'm good for you or bad for you? Is it making good comments on me or bad comments on me? I'm guessing that because of the body language that I'm using with you on purpose, you're going to have a more positive bias towards me right now. Now, it might be that you still have criticisms of what I'm saying, but my guess is, even if you have criticisms right now, you're still going, you know what, it's going to be okay, it'll get good in the end. Yeah? You've got a feeling of optimism around me right now. I'm going to change that feeling for you right now just by doing 2 things. There'll be a cascade of other behaviors, which I'm not trying to do on purpose. There's 2 purposeful things that I'll do with my body, and the rest will happen automatically, okay? Now, what I want you to notice is what happens to the tone of voice in your head and the judgments you're making about me. All I'm going to do is drop my hands down by my side and just crunch in my stomach slightly, which I do by just softening the muscles in the back of my spine. This will cause other cascading behaviors around that. You'll start to change your judgments about me and my content. So, is it the same person that you have in front of you? Are you as optimistic about our relationship, the content that I've got? We've got about another 10 minutes together. Yeah, think, what did that voice in your head say about those 10 minutes? Is that voice optimistic or pessimistic?
Make it stop.
Yeah, exactly. Make it stop. Can he go home? Where's his son? Let's hear about Minecraft. Okay, I'm going to do two things. Other behaviors will cascade out of that, but I'm only doing two things on purpose in order to change my theories about myself and your theories about me and my content. Okay, I want you to try and notice what those two things might be. Okay, here they come right now. In a moment, you'll start to feel that your judgments about me and my content start to change. And now notice what's happened to that judgment in your head. What's that little voice saying about me and my content? We've got 10 minutes together. He's back, yeah. And 10 minutes is 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes is a finite amount of time. It's a scientific amount of time. We can measure it with an atomic clock. It will never change, apart from if we move very fast through the universe, which we're not going to do any faster than we're doing right now at about 500,000 miles. Okay, so nothing is going to change actually physically about that 10 minutes. But who do you prefer the 10 minutes with? There's me. And I've got 10 minutes more to talk to you about nonverbal communication and how you can use it on purpose to win trust with people and gain credibility. Or alternatively, there's me, and I've got 10 minutes to spend with you. Now, I need to tell you that I am a subject matter expert. Just like many of you out there, okay, I have a subject matter expertise. In fact, as Kurt said, what you have in front of you is voted 2014-2015 by my peers the #1 expert in the world in my niche. Okay, so understand, you should probably like my content and like me because I'm good at what I do. I have the best content in the world at this, voted for by other experts like me. You can have my content, or alternatively, you can have my content. Now, I just want to tell you that I am not the world's expert, okay? I'm not the world's expert, yeah? I've not been voted by my peers #1 in my area, but I'm here to help you. And if you'd like my help for about the next 7 or 8 minutes, I'm here for you. Alternatively, if you'd like my help for the next 7 or 8 minutes, I'm here for you. Now, do you prefer one than the other? Yes. Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to come back in a moment as to what I might be doing to give you that preference. Because the thing is I'm looking out in front of me and I'm seeing other human beings. I see lots of kind of diversity here, lots of people who kind of look different than me, and I feel like you might have a different background to me, like many people here weren't born on a small island called Britain like me, didn't have my parents, weren't born in London. Yeah, I get that. There's some females out there, and I'm male. Yeah, so I'm seeing those kind of differences. But roughly, as far as I can see, most people here seem to have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head in roughly the same place as mine. Yeah? There is more the same about us in our DNA than there is ever going to be any difference. So the real thing is that you can do exactly what I'm doing to change other people's perceptions. I just want to go to the third category. So great introduction there. On I come, I start behaving. If you don't see me as a predator, you don't see me as friend, you may instantly go, oh yes, Mark, potential sexual partner. Well, it's possible. I don't know, normally people don't laugh so much on that, actually, but that's okay. I'm not trying to get in that category, by the way. It'll just have happened by accident. Here's some of the things that accidentally might have prompted that for you. We look at things like skin tone. Does the person look healthy? If they look healthy, we can see it in their skin. And our primitive brain goes, well, that's good DNA code. And the person comes from a land where there must be good nutrition. and good health. Also, we look at hair quality. Of whatever hair you have, we look for, does it seem to have rich color? Does it look shiny? Because if it has rich color and it's shiny, that means a good mineral content in the diet and good omega-3 fatty oils in the diet. Therefore, you come from a land where there's high nutrition resource. If we're to mate, the offspring will hopefully live in that land as well and stand a good chance of survival. This just comes out of a bottle, by the way. You know, you can get myself, Jennifer Aniston, Justin Trudeau, we all use the same products. So, it's a bit of a con, bit of a cheat for anybody who's seen me as sexual partner. However, here's it, but if you have, there'll be a queue outside. Now, if you haven't seen me as friend or enemy or potential sexual partner, there's only one category left, and that is that you are indifferent to me right now. And if you're indifferent to me right now, here's what you're hearing. Yeah, you've sat in those presentations, haven't you? And your mind is off just imagining the friends and enemies and sexual partners that you could be having right now. Now, what's interesting here, Tuni Talks, we're here to meet as a community. You're here to get to know new people. There are 7 billion people on the planet right now. 7 billion. Yeah, new people that you could possibly meet right now. What do you think is the default? When you meet a new person, you came here tonight, okay? You're walking through a crowd. What is the default? Yeah, if they don't give you any other information, is it friend, enemy, potential sexual partner, or indifference? Smile. Could be smile. Yeah, we'd hope that the default would be that we're friends with everybody. Unfortunately not. We are indifferent to the majority of people on the planet. Think, how many new people are there in this room right now that you've never met before? Yeah? My guess is it's got to be close to about 150 that you've probably never met before. Yeah? How many do you remember? My guess is that many of you have nobody new in your head. And that's because you're designed to be indifferent to people. You have to make an effort to be put in friend category or put other people in friend category to connect with them. So, here's what I want to look at with you. What do you think I've been doing on purpose with my nonverbal communication to trigger your brainstem, to put me into friend category, and feel like there might be a benefit with me? Yeah, what do you think it is I might be doing? Yeah, hand gestures. We could talk about smile and stuff like that, and yeah, I am doing what's called a Duchenne Smile, and I do try and keep it on for more than 3 seconds. The Duchenne Smile, by the way, means that I narrow my eyes. Not only do I pull the sides of my mouth up, I narrow the eyes as well. I have to sustain it for more than 3 seconds. If less than 3 seconds, your primitive brain defaults to a negative and makes me predator. Let me just do that for you. I can't flash a smile, for example. If I just flash a smile for a 50th of a second, yeah, it's not enough. Yeah, let's try it again with a few more people. Yeah, yeah. It's a full Duchenne Smile, it's perfectly formed, yet not for long enough. And therefore, your primitive brain goes, insufficient data, default to a negative, yeah, better to be safe than sorry, make mark a predator. I can't even do half a smile. If I just do this bit, yeah, friend, enemy, potential sexual partner. Yeah, it's more kind of sexual predator, isn't it? Yeah? But then, especially if I'm in close proximity. Yeah, don't worry, you're fine with me. I'm just here to network. Yeah. So you have to add the eyes in, and it has to be sustained for over 3 seconds for your primitive brain to go, oh, Mark is friend now. And you know what it's like at events like this. Yeah, you're quite unique people that you get yourselves out to these kind of events. The majority of human beings on the planet don't. So you have a huge advantage right now because most people are back home, you know, watching whatever the version of TV is now on a screen, you know. But you're out here. But even so, sometimes you're going to find it hard when networking to put on that smile. Okay, so I want to give you something new and different. What you might have noticed is what I do is to do open-handed gestures at exactly navel height. Yeah? I want you to notice what happens if I do open hand gestures below my navel. Yeah? Yeah? How much do you trust this person? I'm an expert in my field. Yeah, I'm here to talk to you about my product and service, network with you. You can trust me. Very different from, I'm an expert in my field, I'm here to network with you, yeah, you can trust me. Very different from, I'm an expert in my field, I'm here to, yeah, so in fact, let me just finish off before I open to questions to giving you some numbers, because we often think, look, numbers speak for themselves. If I can just give people the data, give people the facts, give them the numbers, they'll buy into me. But understand, numbers are not values. Yeah, you can change the values of numbers simply by changing your behavior, your performance, your body language around it. So let me give you the same set of numbers. Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic. So you're not buying this one at all, are you? I know you've got a theory of mind about me. You've got a theory about me and the $5 million, and I know by putting my gestures up here, it's triggered a very similar theory for everybody in here in the room. Everybody here with very diverse backgrounds, I'm going to guess that you've come up with pretty much the same story about the $5 million. In fact, some of you have got pictures in your head already, moving images of me and the $5 million. Again, we call it theory of mind. You've got a theory about me as a human being and how I've got that $5 million, and yet you have no data to support it. But how true does your theory about me and the $5 million feel to you right now? Yeah? How likely are you to behave according to your theory about me and the $5 million? So what do we think about this $5 million? What are your thoughts? Stole it, embezzled it, conned somebody, tricked somebody. You've all got this idea in your mind, yeah? What about this $5 million? Last year my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. Yeah, you don't think I think it's a big amount, yeah? Yet I said it's a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. And you distorted and deleted that. You forgot I even said that. Yeah, let me tell you again. Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. It doesn't make any difference what I say. It's the same for you. Nobody's ever listening to you. Yeah? They are watching you and listening to the tone of your voice, judging you, and then making up what you said based on their judgments about you. If you can change people's judgments about you, you change what they believe you say. You change what they believe your feeling and intention is towards them. What about this $5 million, by the way? So you think it's about 3.2, and I've just kind of upped it just to look big and fancy in front of you all. You think I'm exaggerating. It's the same across the planet. It doesn't matter where I go. When I perform to people with my gestures up here, they feel I'm exaggerating. Now, that's fine if I'm giving a big vision statement or telling them my feelings about something, I'm doing something passionate, but if I'm talking about measurable metrics, they don't believe them here. Now, what about this $5 million? Last year, my company made $5 million in profit, which is a fantastic amount. I'm really pleased about that. Yeah? I've got the benefit of the doubt from you. Yeah? And it's simply because I'm doing open palm gestures at exactly navel height. The open palms are a universal signal of no tools, no weapons. If I was threat and you were threat, I'd never show you if I have no tools, no weapons. Yeah? I'd always conceal. So look what happens to your theories about me and my help for you once I start to conceal my hands, once I start to conceal this stomach area here. Understand, if Darwin is correct, we're descendant from a ground-dwelling mammal. Yeah, as the forests of Africa receded during climate change, the plains of Africa opened up. The ground-dwelling mammal stood upright. Not in a day, it took hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. But standing upright, it exposed the belly area. Here, there's now huge advantage. Can use hands, yeah, can manipulate and see distance over the plains. But there's a disadvantage. I'm now vulnerable here. So now I need to protect that area if I'm under threat, protect whether I have anything in my hands to harm anybody. But if I don't protect that area and I show clearly no tools, no weapons, and I'm not vulnerable here, yeah, it means I'm not a predator, you're not a predator, and therefore if we were to interact together and have a relationship, it would probably be a good relationship. Now most people, when they meet new people, will start to do this and this. Yeah? What I want you to do when you meet somebody new is instead do as many open palm gestures as you possibly can. You'll feel that you're more confident and they'll be more confident in you. What are your questions? What are your thoughts? What are your observations? We've probably got about 3 minutes. Questions, observations, accusations, invitations, celebrations.
I'll come around with the mic. I'm going to come to the back right there.
Yeah, we've got a thought from...
okay, I'm going to come to you first. Say
yeah,
your
let's go to
name
Madame
and your
here.
question.
My name is Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
So I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
And body language is really important.
Sure.
Do you have any recommendations to, I guess, when I'm teaching to capture more students' attention, I guess, when I'm teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. What will make it neurally easier for them in order to take in your verbal data is if you keep your body and gestures symmetrical. I want you to notice what happens when I talk to you and I make asymmetrical gestures. This is causing your brain to have to use more of its neural capacity because one side of my body is now different to the other side of my body. Now just imagine I was explaining something up on here and now you're seeing the body go side onto you and I'm changing asymmetrically here. Notice what happens the moment I bring my hands symmetrical. Yeah, how much easier it is to hear what I'm saying and how much you start to focus on my face. So I do that. Also, what I might take into account is often in classrooms, not always, but certainly in my experience of some schools, okay, is that the students sit and the teacher stands, and that means if I get very close to you, I have height advantage, and that triggers your brainstem into fight and flight. So although I'm talking to you here right now, I'm going to imagine that certainly my friend over here is having real difficulty with what I'm saying because I'm in close proximity to her with height advantage, and that will be triggering her brainstem into fight and flight. Yeah, my guess is here as well. Yeah, what she's hearing is because again the brainstem will be triggered. Though you're probably okay and people at the back would be fine. So you've got to make sure that you keep your distance. And sometimes, if you want to really connect with somebody, yeah, make sure that you don't have height advantage. Because my guess is that you can really hear what I'm saying right now. And if I come in here and talk to you like this, yeah, and especially if I hang my hands down by my side. Yeah, now she feels threat because she can't see my hands in her peripheral vision. When insufficient data, her primitive brain will default to negatives. Hope that was helpful for you.
Okay, my name is Richard. My question is, I'm a consultant.
Yes.
And I sit most of the times to meet clients. So
oh, yeah.
It'll be very awkward to be opening my arms under the table because they wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because we're usually on tables. What are your insights as in how to portray that positive feedback from your client that is facing you?
Yeah, so think about it. When you sit down at a table, yeah, when insufficient data, the other person's primitive brain defaults to negatives. The moment you sit down, there's insufficient data around the rest of the body. What we tend to do around chairs and tables is sit down and kind of tuck in and get close to our tools and the things that we think will actually win some kind of business or advantage for ourselves. What we actually need to do is come back from the table. I would suggest about a hand span away from the table. That doesn't mean lean back. Pull the whole chair back so that you can still gesture here, yeah, and your audience sitting around the table can see this area here. Right. Questions that they ask you will be more positive questions. Notice what happens when you tuck in, especially if you hide your hands. They'll start asking more negative questions. Some of them will actually get quite aggressive or will feel aggressive, yeah? So come back from the table about a hand span so people can see these gestures. I use the same technique for news anchors. Yeah? Remember, a news anchor can do anything they like on TV because it's live. Yeah? So why don't they just, read the news like this? Yeah? Why is it that they'll read the news like this? It's because you'll believe the news more when it's read with open hand gestures from navel height. Yeah? Remember, news is not the news, it's editorial spin. It's not the news, it's not all the news, it's just some of the news put across in some kind of way. So we have to convince you to kind of watch it and think that it's good news for you. And therefore we do it from here. Notice weather forecasts are done up here on the whole. yeah? To make it lively and exciting, because in the end, it's meteorology and nobody knows what they're talking about. Yeah? Whatever they say is going to happen tomorrow, I guarantee it probably isn't. Yeah? So we tend to try and make it more exciting up here by holding a mic up here or showing people charts, you know, and waving our hands around it, because you have no idea what any of that means. No idea. But you ask for the weather each day. You go, please, tell us what the weather is. And all the meteorologists go, okay. I mean, it won't actually be anything like what we say, by the way, but we can't tell you any of that. Another thought, question, observation, any other
questions for Mark?
Mark, so we already met Nathaniel.
Daniel.
You're doing a sales presentation, you're sitting down. How long do you keep eye contact with one person one-on-one before you break it, especially when you get to a close?
Yeah, lovely. So people often ask about eye contact. What's a good amount of eye contact? What's a bad amount of eye contact? Here's the current science. So obviously science is the best idea we have today based on how we went to get an answer to that idea. Okay, so science changes. That's the great thing about being a scientist, is you have to go, it might be different tomorrow if we asked a different question or went and looked for it in a different way. So the question was asked, cross cultures, what is the maximum amount of time you can look somebody in the eye? So it's a generalization cross culture. The science says 20 seconds, yeah, up to 20 seconds is okay. Yeah? Now, if that's true, 20 seconds is a really long time. That is a really, really long time. So based on that, what the science is saying is, you don't really need to worry about how long you look somebody in the eye. Like, you're not going to do it for 20 seconds. You're going to break eye contact. Here's what you do need to worry about, yeah? And this is a different science is that all eye contact means is you're the target, yeah? You are target. Now, are you the target of something good or the target of something bad? Yeah? So I'm making you the target right now, and if I use that Duchenne smile and gesture with open palms at navel height, my guess is you feel pretty good about being the target. Yeah, you smile already, you're already nodding while I'm nodding. Yeah, I can even see, as I move my lips, you're moving your lips along with me. Yeah? So you are perfectly in sync with me right now, okay? You have what we call limbic resonance with me. Now, I'm going to change your feeling around that, okay? I'm just going to drop my hands down by my side, okay? Crunch in my stomach and just swing my body from side to side, okay? This is the same person, same eye contact, okay? I'm now going to extend this more by doing pacing up and down while targeting you, okay? Now, how do you like this eye contact? Right. So it's not about eye contact, it's about what comes with the eye contact. It's what comes with it. In terms of just eye contact, 20 seconds is fine. And it's a long time, so you're going to be okay. It's what comes with it, okay? Any last thoughts, feelings, observations?
Final question. I know I see a lot of hands. Final question.
Yeah, let's go here.
Mark is going to be around for a little bit, so you can certainly swarm him, as I'm sure a lot of you want to.
As I say, the queue will be, you know, outside. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. So to me, your presentation was just as much about tone of voice as it was about body language.
Yeah.
So what's the relationship? Does tone of voice influence body language or vice versa?
So tone of voice could influence your body language. Will tone of voice influence my body language? No, the muscle groups, the large muscle groups will influence my tone of voice, okay? So all your muscles are connected to other muscles via something called a fascia. It's like just a skin, an outer skin. That fascia has nerve cells that talk to other nerve cells without the use of the spinal column or the brainstem. So what I'm saying is that muscle knows what that muscle is doing, and all the other muscles joining. Notice what happens to my tone of voice the moment I put my hands up in the air. Notice what happens to my tone of voice the moment I hang my hands down by my side. Okay, if I just stand still with my hands down by my side, notice what happens to my breathing pattern, for example. Notice how you're already mirroring and copying my breathing pattern. Yeah? Notice how my tone of voice is now downward intonation. Yeah, there are 3 meanings to downward intonation universally, which is it's over, or it's depressed, or if it's loud, that it's a command. Yeah? Let me try and keep that tone of voice, and now put my hands up in the air like this, and I can't. Yeah, if I try and keep that tone of voice with my hands in the air, it causes me to feel very strange. So your body is holistic, yeah? And you'll find that your tone of voice changes to fit the other larger muscle groups. So instead of trying to get a soft, genuine, calm, assertive tone of voice, just put your hands in a soft, genuine, calm, and assertive place on your body here, and you'll notice your tone of voice changes. Of course, the brainstem looks at the visual image and it listens to the music of the voice, not the language. The brainstem has no language. It doesn't understand language. That's done in the Broca's area, which is in the neocortex out here. It's about 200,000 years old, whereas the brainstem is 500 million. Yeah? And that brainstem is deciding the feeling and intention of what's being said. Then it tells the Broca's area to go and get the data that proves the feeling and intention. Hope that makes sense to you. Look, I will be around to answer more questions. Look, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I've written 3 books, but I like this one. This one is called Winning Body Language. It's the first book that I ever read. You know what, I'll hold it there because more people will buy it if I hold it here. Yeah, Winning Body Language is the first. I mean, down here, nobody's going to buy it, are they? Yeah, here you'll think I'm trying to sell it to you. Here you'll think I never wrote it. Yeah, so I'm going to place it here, Winning Body Language, available at all good book monopolies, of which there are 2 in Canada, which you'll know well. So just go to those book monopolies and they will quite happily sell you one of these. Thanks very much for having me. Thank you. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you.